Welcome everybody. It's great to have you here today. We're going to look at our urban parking system repository once again. In a previous video, we looked at how to export and take information out of Enterprise Architect so it can be shared with third-party tools. But this time we're going to have a look at how you can import some of that information into Enterprise Architect. My name's Scott Hebbard. I'm joined by Stephen McGuire. So welcome, Stephen. I look forward to seeing how you can import something into Enterprise Architect.
Thank you for the introduction, Scott. Always a pleasure to be here. Yes, we did export a number of items to the file system. We also looked at saving things to the clipboard. So let's get started. We don't need to set a perspective for this particular video because we're doing something more universal than working within a framework or language. So let's make a start. We did do something in a previous video. We exported a package of requirements. And so let's have a look at the requirements model. And you can see there that that model has got a hierarchical relationship. And we've got a number of requirements that are there. And they've got the requirements have all been following good business practice. And they have notes that are describing what the requirement's about. So what we did was we simply went export and we exported those using a particular specification. Just to refresh people's memory, the specification is a way of specifying or telling Enterprise Architect what kind of things we want in our export to the spreadsheet. So we've got a whole range of possibilities there of fields and tag values that we can put in, and we've simply cherry picked a number of them. We'll look at those when we import the model as well. So let's close that and assume that model's on the disk there. Now,
so we're not exporting everything, but just a subset.
That's right. We're taking a particular package, the functional requirements package, and then within that package we have requirements that have got a lot of metadata associated with them, but we've only specified, we've cherry picked the kind of information that we want, and that will be determined by every particular business scenario. Some people might want just a few fields, other people might want a completely different set. So we had exported those requirements, and let's go now and have a look at what we can do to bring that in. So I'm just going to bring up the file system and show you that file exists there. So we have the urban parking meter export file, and we've got the urban parking requirements.csv. So let's take that off the screen for a minute and let's look at another repository that we might want to import this into. So the business situation is that the urban parking meter system has been developed and gone into production, and some people from regional areas have seen this and thought this would be a good thing for us to start doing some requirements using, like leveraging off the requirements that have been done for the urban parking meter system. So they've started a rudimentary repository. We've got the main node name there, regional parking. They've got enterprise and projects. So they're just starting to define this repository of business architecture and requirements there. So let's use the published ribbon, the model exchange panel, and the CSV item to import this. Now we do have the exchange specification there, so we can look at that, and that's been imported into this repository, and that must match the specification we exported it on, because we need to know which fields that we're obviously importing. So let's close that for a minute and let's go to the CSV item there, and let's go here and look at our import dialog box. So the main thing that we need to change, we've got the specification selected there. We've got the urban parking requirements CSV file, but we need to select the action. So let's go import there and run this one, and you'll see that the models, the elements are all added there. And if we go in here, we can see that the hierarchy has been preserved. We talked about that. That's an option on the export, Scott. And I think when we did the export video, we decided not to set that, but we've gone back subsequently and exported the file using the
all those child-parent relationships have been maintained.
Yeah, exactly. And that's an important thing. This is a very simple example for the purposes of this video, but you may have literally, thousands of requirements for a complex system, and they will be divided up into into different groups. They may even be in different packages. So again, Enterprise Architect can export the particular packages as well. So that's a very useful feature there, Scott, is to get those requirements directly into the into this new repository. The other thing that we exported in the from the urban parking meter system, we exported some content for the domain model. Now I'm going to go back. I'll just flick this model off the screen for a minute, and I'm going to go back to this model here and look at the domain model. So let's have a look at that. And we had, this was under our structural models in UML, and we had this class model that we exported. So let's have a look at that. And again, we'll look at the file system and have a look at what we've got in the file system that's related to that particular thing that we want to export. So again, looking at the file system, we've got a file that we exported, which is a PNG file, but we've also got this class model.pdf, which we exported, and then the class model.xml. Now that's going to be the one that is going to contain the export that we did earlier. So again, I'll take that off the screen, bring back my regional parking system, just tie that in there. And so let's go now and look at our domain model. And so we can now choose from the publish ribbon, the model exchange panel, the import item, and we can say we want to import a native file. So there it is, the model exchange class model.xml, and we want a few options here: import the diagrams, import using a single transaction. Important when you've got large files. Check if the package can be imported as a model root. We don't want to put it in as a model root, so we'll just leave that checked. And we can also do something strip GUIDs, which means that you could bring this in without any relation to the original source that we got from this. So it sort of changes the provenance of this, if you like. By stripping the GUIDs, the elements would get new GUIDs coming in. But let's not do that. Let's just leave that there for the moment and import that. So we've got the opportunity there to import that, and we'll say yes, we're in the right location there, and Enterprise Architect has done the work there. So there it is. There, our models come in, and again, all of the all of the information has come in with our notes and everything that are on these particular fields, the parking meter there. So, Scott, they are the two most commonly imported content into Enterprise Architect. And the other thing I just want to refresh people's minds, we have covered this in at times in videos, but I want to just talk about the fact that what I can do is actually I can right mouse click in here and say copy full structure for duplication, and then I could do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that, but with the from our other repository, and just show you how that might work. So let's have a look at something like a strategic model and say, look, let's look at this value chain. And we've got our value chain there. Just to refresh people's memories, this was a diagram that represented the value chain. And remember, we've got all of our notes in there. So let's just do something in here. We're going to, again, let's go value chain there. I'll close that diagram, make sure it's not going to interfere with what we're doing. And I'm going to grab the value chain by simply going copy and full structure for duplication. That's an important thing. It's not just a simple link. It's full structure for duplication. So I want everything. It's gone into the clipboard, Scott. So it's actually in my clipboard. And Enterprise Architect knows that it is and knows the format that it's in. And so what I'm going to do here is put it into my model. So I'm going to create another package here called strategic models. Let's see how easy it is to do that, and just simply create that there. And I'll start this off with a value chain. So I'll right mouse click here and say paste, package from clipboard. And you can see now that it's all there. Now, just a word about this, Scott. This is a very simple thing to do, just copying content. But imagine the situation where you wanted to share the content between the two repositories. And there are facilities in doing that with our ProCloud server to be able to link into a sort of a base model, if you like, that both the regional parking system and the urban parking system can access. But that's the topic for a future video. And this is, like I said, the main points about importing content. So I think people will, value the productivity gains that they get from importing content into Enterprise Architect from the file system or from a simple copy and paste.
You've basically shown how to import via a CSV file, an XML file, and using copy and paste, and to bring it into the model. Well, thanks, Stephen. It was great to see how easy that was. Would like to welcome and thank everybody for their attendance today. It's been great to have you here from the Sparx Systems YouTube channel. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, we'd appreciate a like, a comment, and subscribe to the Sparx Systems YouTube channel. It's great to have our community growing and to have people contributing. As always, if you have any questions about importing information into Enterprise Architect, Stephen's LinkedIn credentials and website details are listed in the description of the video below. Thanks once again, Stephen. Appreciate your time.
Always a pleasure to be here, Scott.